I was in the University of Lagos in Nigeria studying medicine.
Okay.
I had completed a year of foundation program in Nigeria. Before you consider China, consider other options. There's so many details of why probably I think China, it's not necessarily the best place,
for
to
medicine.
Yeah.
So can you serve, like, can you practice after graduation?
Yeah, you can practice after graduation if you want to.
How efficient is it?
Not really, because here first week in July, I was just chilling at home and stuff. I just saw an email, so hospital interview request. When I saw it, I cried.
My God,
you know, when you cry, like, this has never happened to me. I will not say I'm an emotional person, but I cried. It's like, it's not like, oh my God, cry. It's like I was just reading it. And I don't know when the tears came out of my eyes. I was literally.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jane Bernard. If this is the first time of tuning into my channel, I currently am in China and I've been here for over 4 years. I kind of bring something like this. I bring people to talk about their experience in China, and also people from different countries, continents, Africa, Asia, anywhere in the world actually, to come talk about their experience, and most importantly, educate all of us watching this and having the shot right now. So today I'm here with an amazing person. He is I would say he's very humble, okay, because I've really had to spend time with him, and he has a whole lot to speak with us today. But before that, please, you guys should not forget to subscribe if this is what you would like to come for. If you want to get more information about living in China, how you can survive and get information in China, this is the best channel, one of the best channels for you to subscribe to and turn on your notification. All right, so I'm done with that. So please, can you tell us who you are? You're looking very amazing today.
Thank you very much. Hi guys, my name is Adura Olawi. I am a Nigerian. I was a medical student here in China. I graduated, and I'm so lucky to have met JB here.
It's a pleasure.
And yeah, we decided to make this video for you, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank you so much. So I have with me Mr. Adura. He is a doctor. I wouldn't say he was a doctor, because I don't know why he just was. He is a medical student.
I was a medical student, but now I'm a doctor.
Okay, yes, he is officially a doctor right now. So can you tell us about your journey? How has it been? And did you start here in China, or you transferred from Nigeria?
So basically, I was in the University of Lagos in Nigeria studying medicine.
Okay.
I had completed a year of foundation program in Nigeria. And apparently the University of Lagos, Nigeria has affiliations with Suzhou University, which I went to.
Wow.
And then I got transferred to Suzhou University and I completed my degree here.
So that's possible. Sorry, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Okay. University of Lagos has this affiliation with Chinese University here in Suzhou. And by the way, guys, we're in Suzhou City, and Suzhou University, the University of Suzhou, right? Oh, okay. In case you're watching this, or probably know someone that is probably in Unilag and studying the same course. What's your course?
It was Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, MBBS.
MBBS, that's right. Okay. In case you're wondering how you can transfer, I think he can break it down for all of us today. So how did you do it? Did you have to learn Chinese, or did you apply to your school, or how did it do it?
It just happened. I was actually the first set to do this. My set, I did it in 2015. That was when I came into China. I was in Unilag 2014 to 2015 session, and then I came to China in 2015. I came with another Nigerian girl. We were the first batch to ever do this, so it was like an agreement between the two universities.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's nothing major. I never applied to it myself. I was just sitting at home one day and I got a very random text from the Unilag Foundation program that you've been selected to as one of the students to want to do this. Are you interested? And then I went down for an interview and it all happened, and yeah, bam, China.
But there was no specific registration?
There was none. I think as long as you're in the foundation program, I think you're automatically eligible. I don't know how it really works because I was just the first set to we're the first batch to do it, and for some reason I got a text message from the foundation office,
Wow.
and then I showed it to my dad at the time, and then we just took up the opportunity, and China, here we are.
That's kind of new to me, actually. I didn't know that because I came here through the Confucius scholarships. And okay, so does it mean that the whole program is still ongoing now? Like,
I'm not sure about it, but there's been two other medical students after me
wow.
who did the same program. So yeah, they're currently doing their masters in the US right now. So that's been it. But note, it's not a scholarship. It's still self-funded. So it's not like a exchange program where you're on scholarship. No, it's still self-funded.
So it's just like giving you an offer to study instead of in Lagos, but now in China.
Exactly.
But then on your cost.
Yes, on our cost.
Ah, Lord. Okay. I get it. Oh, thank you so much. I never knew that. I'm probably just going to help a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
And you guys, if you want to get all his information, I'm going to seek permission from him. You can email me or probably text me on Instagram. And I'm going to link his Instagram ID probably in the description box so you guys can contact and ask him questions. So how has the journey been here? And did you think you ever regretted leaving Lagos for China?
That's a good question. The journey here has been it's been great. It has its up and downs, obviously, but it's been great. I came here in 2015. It's 2023. It's almost 8 years, right?
Oh,
I studied for 6 years, and I've been working on other personal projects we'll probably get into.
Sure.
Yeah, after the 6 years. So I would say the journey. Do I regret leaving Lagos? No, actually, because I believe in God's plan, and there's so much into studying more than just the academics itself.
That's right.
It's also about exposure. It's also about leaving your comfort zone. It also gives you the opportunity to see the world, and you learn a lot from that as well. So if I was in Nigeria, I'll be just limited to the environment I've always been in and stuff. And with how things go in Nigeria, my Nigerian mates who we did first year of medicine together, they literally just graduated this year. They only just graduated this year. I graduated 2 years ago.
Is it because of the ASU strike?
ASU strike, COVID.
Oh yeah.
And some all other Nigerian factors, factors. So PS, when I got to China, I started again from year one. Wow. So my mates in Nigeria were already a year ahead of me, yet I graduated 2 years before them.
Jesus, wow.
It's if I was still in Nigeria, I'll probably just be graduating medical school at this time. That's almost 10 years in medical school.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, without your house job and all of that. So I'm really thankful that I was able to come here, finish up what I was doing, and move on to better things in time.
Oh, okay. So thank you.
Yeah.
Tell us about your personal business.
Yeah.
And before that, maybe you just talked about the journey here in China, but do you think you can advise someone to do, like, to follow your step? Is it something you would advise your younger self, or someone thinking of probably using this video to have an opportunity to come here in China on self-study?
Okay, coming to China is amazing, but to come to China for a degree in Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, Mbbs, I would say probably not. Consider other places if you can, if you're able to afford it. Like, consider the Caribbeans. Because especially when you study in Caribbeans, there's a kind of an easy access to pathway to go to study in the US, to be a doctor in the US afterwards, as a resident and stuff like that. So also consider maybe some places in Europe. Consider, just don't be closed-minded, because here, although there's this language barrier that you have to deal with, and come on, as a doctor, a big part of your work is communicating to patients.
That's
so many other things. I mean, here, the program I did, by the way, was Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery in English. So I was solely taught in English. So it's not like you're going to be taught in Chinese. No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
But when your teachers, they speak to you in English, some of them are a bit limited.
Yeah, that's
in the way they can express their knowledge. And when it's time for your clinical years, when you have to go to hospital, you also have to speak Chinese.
Oh.
And
So
stuff like that
the
to
language
patients.
is needed.
Yeah, so the language is needed.
Wow.
Basically, you have to speak Chinese in your clinical years to doctors and to patients. And I just feel like just the also, I mean, I would say before you consider China, consider other options. There are so many details of why probably I think China, it's not necessarily the best place.
The best place for
to
medicine.
yeah.
So can you serve, like, can you practice after graduation?
Yeah, you can practice after graduation if you want to.
How efficient is it?
Not really, because here medicine is really academic. Unlike other countries where once you graduate, you can write the licensing exams and just go into practicing, and stuff like that. But here it's academic in the sense that after you graduate, you have to do a master's in clinical medicine, which is 3 years. So for them, their system is, and after that, you need to do probably a PhD. Then it's very academic. For you to keep going higher, you have to do this. It's a very academic process and stuff like that. And if you want to be a doctor here, you have to write their unlike maybe other places, after your graduation exam from medical school, you're officially a doctor. You get licensed immediately because that's how the system works, because you're trained in the system. But in China, it's different. Even for Chinese students, once you graduate, you still have to write the Chinese licensing exam. Once you do the Chinese licensing exam, you get a license. Then you also do your master's as well.
And that's a must.
In clinical, in clinical medicine and stuff like that. So it's just very different, unlike other countries where you don't need a master's or anything. It's just once you graduate, once you have your license, you just start your house job or internship, and then residency, specialist training, whatever, and you just go in that way.
Okay, I think I've heard this, but twice, like you and some other person, because he had to go back home. Yeah. Just because he wasn't allowed to practice here. Yeah. So I'm like, what's the point of wasting the whole year here and you can't even do nothing? Yeah. Thank you. So let's get into your business. What do you mean?
So what I meant was, because I remember saying that I've been here for almost 8 years, about 8 years, and 6 years was studying, and the remaining is I've been working on some, personal business, I should say. So basically, I graduated in 2021 of August, and then I remember during the COVID times, during that period, and when I was about to graduate, it really hit me like, oh, what am I gonna do after graduation? What is the next step? And for me, I knew China was an earner because of obvious reasons. Practicing here is not very lucrative. And so many other things in the works, and I was like, you know what, Nigeria also was not an option for me, for real, to be honest. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna narrow down what I'm gonna do to English speaking countries. So I would say, first of all, it's always good to narrow down what you want. So I narrowed it down to, okay, where I want to go has to be an English speaking country. So I thought of the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, basically. Oh, wow. Okay. And then I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I knew I still wanted to practice as a doctor. I love what I do. So I was, that's why I was like, okay, how do I want to go there? How am I going to get there? Am I going to just do a master's maybe in something like public health to get to the country? So once I'm in that country, I'll write the licensing exam and then get into practice or something. So I was just thinking, go bidding around the bush and stuff like that. So then until I finally decided, you know what, I'll go with Australia. So I decided to choose Australia and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go through masters. I just wanted to go as a doctor and do the medical licensing exams and, stuff like that.
Determination.
It was tough. It was really tough. And I had good mentorship. I'm so glad and thankful for that. I was able to reach out to some doctor in Australia who really, guided me. Please, whatever you want to do, make sure you have a good mentor. It's so important, and a good support system. It goes a long way. So, and the reason why I chose Australia was because I thought the US, the system, the medical licensing exam of the US, you have to do a step 1, step 2, CKCS, step 3, get a match. It's just it's time consuming. And what am I going to do within that time? Just only exams for how many years? I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. Then there was Canada. I just thought Canada is a country that requires you to be a PR or a citizen before you can get into practice. Exactly.
Ooh.
So you cannot practice even if you pass the Canadian MLE, I think that's what they call it. You cannot practice unless you're a PR.
So you have to be there and then get your PR.
Yes,
first,
so you have to do some stuff. I don't know, get your PR and then get into practice. I'm like, I don't know. I know getting a PR in Canada, as they say, is relatively easier compared to other countries, but still, you don't know how long it might take.
That's right.
People say at least 3 years, but what if your case is 5 years? What if it's 6 years? What if you don't know? So it's not like they're handing it out to everybody at the 3-year mark. No. So that was that. And there was UK and Australia, New Zealand. Australia, New Zealand was like, Australia is the bigger sister of New Zealand. Like basically, if you can work in Australia, you can work in New Zealand. I'm like, okay, I'll rather Australia.
Oh wow!
And my mentor was working in Australia and everything. It's just Australia. I really wanted to go to anyway. And UK, I was thinking UK. Working for the NHS, as I've heard, NHS is like the medical healthcare system.
Yeah.
I'm like, working for the NHS is not as good. The pay is not as good as Australia as well. And that's why a lot of UK doctors are moving to Australia.
Oh, right now?
A whole lot. Because of the pay, the work to pay ratio as well. It's not so good. And even immigration policies is not as good as that of Australia. So all in all, when I consider the work to pay ratio, the salary, the immigration policies, and the type of life I wanted. I like to live on an island beach and everything, and just Australia has this summer vibe, this great weather and stuff, compared to the UK and everything. So I was like, you know what, I would rather Australia. So I decided to do that, and I wrote the Australian Medical Council exams I took my exam in November 2022. Almost a year after I graduated, because I was spending most of my year of 2022 studying.
Ooh.
And actually, I didn't write the exam once. I didn't pass on the first go. I passed on my second go. So I took it first in September, and then the passing score is a 250. I scored a 249.
No,
I scored a 249.
Oh God, please no, no!
It was the most heartbreaking moment of my life. At that moment, I hated God. I hated life. I hated everybody in it. I was angry. There was so much anger. There was so much pain. And I just, for 1 week, I was numb. I'm serious. I couldn't talk to anyone. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't want to socialize.
What was the cost? What was the cost of the exam?
Oh, at the time I wrote it.
In 2022?
In 2022.
Okay.
In 2022, it was about 2,750 Australian dollars.
No.
Yeah.
Is that expensive?
Just very expensive. That's like 15,000 RMB or something. What? Right now, I think it costs about 3,000 plus Australian dollars.
No.
That's just for the exam. But that is without, and before you register for the exam, you also have to open a portfolio. You also have to open an account with AMC. All those type of stuff, verify your degrees. You still pay for all that kind of stuff.
Jesus.
That will cost you about 600 Australian dollars.
Oh my God.
And so it's an expensive thing, but it's worth it, in the end. And so I did that. So I finally wrote my exam the next month, because the good thing about AMC is there's exams every month. So it's not like you can do it twice a year or something, every month except December and January, but every month, February up to November, throughout the year, you can write it. So I booked for the next month. I wrote again and I passed. I got a 280 on that one.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I was really excited. It was I wrote it in November, and it takes a month for your results to be out. So my result,
my God.
I think that period is worse than actually writing the exam.
I know.
And I got the results. I remember clearly December 15th. It was just like a early Christmas for me. It was fantastic, and I was really happy about it. And then and that was that. And in Australia, there are 2 steps of the exam. There's a AMC MCQ, which is Australian Medical Council multiple choice questionnaire. So it's like 150 questions in 3.5 hours. That's the step 1. That is what I did. And then there's a step 2, because every medical exam has 2 steps: the theoretical part and the clinical part. Unlike other countries, Australia, with the AMC step 1 and your English test, like, PTE or IELTS or whatever, you can actually get a job. You can work in Australia. So you don't have to pass the step 1 of the exam and step 2 of the exam. You can just pass it. Yeah, exactly. When you have the step 1 and your English test, you can already apply for jobs.
Whoa.
And you get a limited registration. So then after working, you can write but you have to pass, but you can, when you get a job and everything, you have to then pass your AMC2, the clinical exam. We call it AMC2. You can pass that later as you go along the way. So many other countries like the UK, they call their exam PLAB. You have to pass the PLAB 1 and PLAB 2, which is PLAB 1 is the theoretical part. PLAB 2 is the clinical part. So you have to pass both of those exams before you can try to get a job. In the UK. So, and that was one of the reasons I chose Australia. I'm like, I just have to do one exam to get and I'm eligible to get a job. Okay, I'm good. You can always pass the second exam later, and stuff like that. So, yep, that was basically
That's a long journey, you guys.
He's
trying to narrate it, but he's not telling us how he felt. So probably if I had interviewed him like months ago, he would not have cried.
Oh, I remember. Oh, speaking of crying, this year I cried actually. This year, because when I was applying for a job, because I did my exam last year, passed it 2022. This year, they call it a campaign. So I joined the RMO campaign this year. I remember, guys, I'm doing all of this from China. I'm not even a temporary resident in Australia. I'm doing it from overseas. It's just amazing how everything has worked. So I did what's it called? I applied through the campaign for a job. Campaign is like is like a job fair. So they apply. Yeah, they apply. They advertise all positions available. So you apply into the campaign and stuff like that. Once you're applying into the campaign, you the participating hospitals, then you preference hospitals, then participating hospitals. When the campaign closes, it opens to the hospitals. They see they see who's doctors that have applied, and then if they like your application package, they will shortlist you for an interview. And then when your interview goes well, you will get a job offer. You get hired.
Gosh.
So I remember I applied through a campaign. The campaign was May 8th to June 8th. I applied through a campaign, and I remember it was in July, first week in July. I was just chilling at home and stuff. I just saw an email. So hospital interview request. When I saw it, I cried.
My God,
when you cry, like, this has never happened to me. I will not say I'm an emotional person, but I cried. It's not like, oh my God, cry. It's like I was just reading it. And I don't know when the tears came out of my eyes. I was literally just reading the text, the email, and tears came out of my eyes for some reason. I didn't even know it was crazy,
emotional.
But very. And then I prepared they sent me an email on Monday. The interview was on Friday. I prepared as hard as I can. Like, bro, never. I put my all into it. And then I was able to. I did the interview. It really went well. That was my first ever interview ever.
Wow. Wow.
I did the interview. It went well. I felt it went well, but I was not sure. I'm like, wait, this is the only ever interview I've ever done. I have nothing else to compare with. But the way they talked to me, the way it went, the way they were very I just knew it went well. And then skip weeks later because it's you have to wait for the campaign everything to then you have to wait for about another month because they
another month?
Yes, almost a month because
oh my God.
Yes, because there's dates for how everything works. These people are so organized. They say this date to this date is when offers come out. This date to this date is when this is this. Yeah, stuff like that. So it's a whole thing. It's not just the hospitals. It's not the hospital's policy, but it's the campaign. It's the state's policy. Like I applied to Queensland Health, for example.
Oh,
Queensland Health campaign. So it's like just in the whole Queen. That's just how it works. So, what happened was that on July 24th was when they're supposed to give out verbal offers according to the dates. Verbal offers. So they'll call you to offer you a position verbally, and when that, if you say yes to it, then they'll send you documents like official, like your offer of appointment, your contract, and everything. So I remember, skip July 23rd night. Guess what? I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was dreaming. I was just uneasy and just doing stuff. July 24th, skip.
And you have to wait for their time.
Yes. Afternoon. It was afternoon.
In China.
Yes. And they're 2 hours ahead.
Oh.
So it was so it's not too bad, actually.
Okay.
It was afternoon, and I didn't receive any call. I'm like, hey, what is going on? Because I was expecting I would receive something. But I'm like, what if I don't? But then I didn't receive anything. But I'm like, oh, maybe there's just still, I mean, it's just 1 p.m. their time. It's okay. Then next day I checked my email. Then I saw that, they actually sent me an email that they tried to call me, but my phone number did not go through. I'm like, I just called back in. They were like, okay, the
call
phone number don't go, please call back when you see this, or give me a time when you're free, so that they will call back again or something like that. Next thing I called back, I'm like, hello. I remember how it went. Hello, is this Adura? I'm like, hello, this is so. Am I on to Adura from blah blah blah? I'm like, yeah, this is Adura. They're like, congratulations. I just want to offer you. When she said congratulations, I swear my head was spinning. I didn't even hear the remaining part of everything. I was like, congratulations, we're happy to have pleased to offer you a position, as a junior doctor in our hospital. Are you willing to accept this offer?
You're willing? Of course,
you're asking me, would you? Is this a question?
Are you playing?
Is this playing? Well, like, yes, thank you so much. And then they were like, yeah, we're happy to have you on board, and we'll follow up. Our medical workforce will follow up with your contract, with your appointment letters and stuff, and steps to follow on to apply with the Medical Board of Australia, and then visas and all of that. So yeah.
Jesus.
That's been the overview. There's more details.
I get
There's
it.
literally more details and details.
Time,
yes.
I wish we literally have more time.
But that's like the overview.
I'm like pushing him, and I hope he will also have his own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And probably when he gets to Australia, by God's grace, he'll start giving us the steps. And also, if you're interested, or you're thinking probably you want to do MBBS and you don't know the way forward, I think he's literally a sole example of how you should start, and probably even have him as your mentor. I always say this: it doesn't matter the age or anybody or even the country. Just if you see someone doing something you like, maybe walk up to the person and ask questions. Sometimes we're very scared of asking questions, thinking, oh, I would get blasted, or the person might be stingy in the information. But no, for him to come to my podcast today, that means he is willing to share his pains and happiness. Okay, thank you so much, Adura. Do you have like an advice to probably people? I know you've advised us a whole lot, but like your plan, your processes, and are you gonna miss China, by the way?
I will miss some aspects of it.
So what are the things China has put in you? What can you be grateful to China about?
I'm grateful to China for giving me the opportunity to. I mean, I've traveled abroad a couple times with my family, like US and the UK and all of that. But it's different when you live abroad.
Oh yes.
So I'm grateful to China to give me an opportunity to live abroad, to be more open-minded.
That's right.
To be more exposed and not be boxed up, because here you meet a lot of people from different walks of life and different countries and everything. Right. So I'm really grateful to China for that, and giving me the opportunity to taste something very different. We're in the eastern part of the world. It's different from where we're from in Africa.
So different.
So being able to expand our comfort zone is very important.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think China thanks you as well. So do you have like a conclusion, or what people should, anything you like to talk?
Yeah. Basically, what this has taught me, I hear this a lot, but this has really taught me that, first of all, I believe in God. Definitely. God blesses everything you do. And don't think anything is impossible.
That's right.
Please don't think anything is impossible. As long as you're realistically, and be realistic with yourself, obviously. As long as you're realistically qualified for something, or you're realistically in the, meet up with the requirements for something, go for it. Go for it. Many people told me that you see many stuff online that it's hard to get a job, especially, first of all, I'm an international medical graduate, IMG, that's what I call it, because going to Australia, and apart from that, I'm overseas, right? They're like, oh, it's so hard to get a job, especially when you're overseas. You're not even currently in Australia and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard that.
And stuff like that. It's easier when you're on ground and they will want you and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that is a lie. I'm not saying it's not the truth. It might not be the truth, but just don't think, people are saying all this stuff and be like, you know what, let me not do it. Let me not try. Let me not.
Or people start running for agents
and stuff like that. Let me not even go through. Just do it. Put it out. It costs you nothing. Even if they say they don't take you, you just keep going. So don't think anything is impossible. I have friends who are currently on ground in Australia and haven't even got a job. Yeah, so don't think anything is impossible. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Don't think anything is impossible. I always like to get one phrase from people on my channel. So do not think anything impossible. And one thing I'll also add to what he said is try to apply for things yourself. Those agents, they can do it for you like easy, but it's another thing to also have the experience. And probably what if those agents are not there? Probably after getting all those things, you can pick up from there. So yes, don't think anything is impossible.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, Adura.
Thank
and
you,
all the best.
thank you so much.
You guys, I don't know if you have questions. Like I said, I'm gonna link his Instagram handle on my description box, and also you can ask me if you have questions, and I get to him, and I get back to you guys, obviously. And please don't forget to open your YouTube channel. I mean, I'd like to watch you when you get back, because I don't know when next we're gonna meet. I mean, this life is so fast and so little. Okay, that is a peace out from both of us. Bye, guys.
Bye.